Prime delivery is fast. How fast are we talking? We're talking puzzle toys and lick pad delivered so fast you can get this puppy under control fast. Pee pads, cooling mat, peg hammer, fast and fast. And those training TREATS, faster than you can say sit fast. Fast, free delivery. It's on Prime.
If your roof starts to leak or your floor's really squeaky, live in a money pit. Money pit.
If your basement needs a pump or your place looks like a dump, live in a money pit. Money pit. Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
The Money Pit is presented by Ladera by Pavestone and RoofMax Roof Restoration. Now here's Leslie Segrete.
Coast to coast and floorboards to shingles, this is the Money Pit. I'm Leslie Segrete, joined by the smartest Jim Kenzie. I mean, I'm assuming you're the smartest of all the Jim Kenzies in the land.
Well, there are a couple of us out there, and if I can even be in the top 10, I'd be flattered, Leslie. Thank you so much.
You're the smartest in my book, my friend.
You're the smartest Leslie Segrete, I know.
Oh, I love it. Well, you guys, the endless summer of heat and humidity continues. So how's everybody holding up? You guys doing okay? Your house is doing well. You're staying cool. I personally cannot wait for the signs that a crisp fall is on the way. So let's get to it. Maybe talking about non-summery things can, help me feel good. We've got a great show for you guys this hour. Coming up, are your sprinklers doing more watering for the driveway than maybe your lawn? We're going to share smart midsummer maintenance tips for your in-ground sprinkler system that are going to help you save water, protect the lawn, and help you avoid wasting cash on your next water bill. And if you've been dreaming about upgrading your outdoor space, whether it's a cozy fire pit, a raised garden bed, or even elegant seat walls, there's a product that can help you get it done without the hassle of traditional stonework, and it's called Ladera. It's a clever stackable stone system that's fast, stable, easy to install, no cutting, no mortar, no special skills required. Christopher Clare is joining us later this hour to talk about that. And are you tackling a home remodeling project? Well, you might be paying more than you think. Coming up, how recent tariffs on lumber, appliances, and fixtures could add thousands to your renovation budget, and what smart homeowners can do to protect their bottom line. A lot of good stuff coming up this hour, so give us a call so we can lend you a hand with your home improvement projects at 888-MONEY-PIT. Jim, who's up first?
First up, Leslie, we have Joseph with an electrical problem. What's going on at your Money Pit, Joseph?
I've got an older house that was built in the 1940s, and my daughter's nursery, the overhead fan and lights work, but none of the sockets in the room function, and I have no breakers that have tripped.
I mean, somewhere there has to be a socket that's disconnected. Are you sure the sockets aren't connected to a light switch?
I am 99% positive.
All right, well, 99% positive means that there's 1% doubt, right? Right? Especially with an older house, you're going to find that the outlets are a lot of times operated by a switch. I remember when we moved into our home built in the early 20s, we'd be like, why doesn't anything work? And sure enough, bloop, hit a switch, everything kind of comes on. Now that was normal for that time period, not necessarily normal for a home today. So I would say since the house is of an age, I'm going to say that it's very mature. It's from the 40s. Let's not call it an old house. It's just a mature house. You might want to bring in an electrician to kind of make sure that everything is wired correctly, wired safely, has the proper safety measures. You want to make sure you have outlets with GFCIs, the ground fault circuit interrupters built into them, especially in a bathroom or near a water source like a sink in the kitchen. You want to make sure that everything is wired correctly to your panel, that you have enough amperage per areas that you might be using more of. I mean, it would be sort of like having an electrician come in and just do like a checkup and letting you know that everything is functioning correctly or not, and fixing what they can to sort of make things function to today's standard, what they can do without completely rewiring the house. And in an instance, if they may have to rewire something in a room so that those outlets function standalone, or at least now they're showing you these outlets are to this switch, etc. But I think it's definitely worth it to bring in a pro to sort of give you an electrical checkup and make sure that everything's groovy at home.
And I will definitely look at calling in an electrician. All
right, thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT.
Courtney in Texas has a stinky question about her Money Pit. What's going on, Courtney?
It's not an old house. We've just lived here just under a year, and the previous owner was a cigarette smoker, and so pretty much everything smelled like cigarette. So,
oh yeah, smoky houses are gross.
Done a lot of work on it, but I'm wondering if I need to just replace or clean out the ventilation system. That's one thing I haven't done yet.
All right, well, let's talk about this. So are we talking about every room in the house here, or is it just one kind of space in particular that's stinky?
It was every room in the house.
All right, is there carpeting in the house? Has it been replaced?
It's been replaced.
And when you replaced the carpet, what was underneath? Hardwood floors or just plywood underneath?
It was plywood.
All right, well, did you paint the plywood? Did they paint them with a sealer?
No.
All right. So one of the things we generally recommend in a cigarette smoky house is because it gets into everything. And unfortunately, it also gets into the underlayment to the carpeting. And when you take off the carpeting and you have that plywood down there, the first step should be to seal that flooring. So you're kind of using like a primer, a sealer that will keep that smoky smell into that plywood itself and then not come back up through the new carpet, because the carpet isn't going to stop that. So that's generally the first step to what to do. The other thing is think about any other soft materials in the home, blinds, drapes, anything of that nature that was there from the previous owner, get rid of.
We've done that. We've done all the light fixtures, all the outlets, all the cabinets have been redone.
You've done everything. What about the walls? Has the house been repainted on the interior and primed and then painted?
I did prime the walls, yeah.
Ugh. What about a drop ceiling? That's another porous material.
Is cleaning out the HVAC system?
Generally, I don't say clean the ducts unless you're doing a ton of remodeling and dust and whatnot gets in there.
This could be an exception. Who knows?
Yeah, but this could be the case where that is a situation. Perhaps have you changed the filters in the HVAC system? Maybe that's a problem.
I do change that, but I don't know what type.
All right. Well, if you're changing it, it's not an electronic air cleaner. So there's better filters out there that do a better job of scrubbing the air. They're called electronic air cleaners. You could look at one by Train, CleanFX, April Air makes them. They're very effective. It's an electronic air cleaner that scrubs kind of even the smallest virus-sized particles out of the air. And that could help to get rid of any of that residual odor. It sounds like you're kind of on your way to that since you seem to have done everything else. I would have recommended painting the subfloors when you had the carpet up, but to go back and do that, I don't know if that's going to make a huge difference, but it might. I'm so sorry I don't have a more targeted answer, but you're doing all the right investigating. We're giving you all the same advice. So I would try to change out that air filter system. If you're up for a flooring project again, paint that subfloor. I don't know. Good luck, all right?
All right. Well, I appreciate your time.
And Leslie, on some of the electronic air cleaners, like the April Air, for example, they have the elements which zap the air particles as they're going through.
Yeah.
But they still have a media of sorts, similar to a fiberglass filter, but it's usually a woven accordion style. So it's the combination of the two. And not all of them. Some of them are just electric. Some of them are combo. But
all right.
It's worth, peeking your head in there and seeing if there is a media filter of sorts. Because if you don't know if it has one, you haven't changed it.
Yeah, that's true.
At Sierra, discover great deals on top brand workout gear, like high-quality walking shoes, which might lead to another discovery.
40,000 steps, baby. Who's on top now, Karen?
You've taken the office step challenge a step too far. Don't worry, though. Sierra also has yoga gear. It might be a good place to find your zen. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Hey, you want to make our day? Well, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we'll be jumping for joy. Plus, you guys, your feedback helps us make the show even better for you. Just go to moneypit.com/review. Hey, if you are craving a summer-style update but don't want to commit long-term, try removable wallpaper. You guys have long known that I am a forever fan of wall coverings. Try it. You might love it too, guys. It's perfect for adding a bold pop of color or pattern to an accent wall, inside bookshelves, or even the back of a closet or a pantry. Those peel and stick designs are easy to apply and just as easy to change when the seasons or your taste change as well. Instant upgrade, no mess. I love it. It's like a puzzle for your wall. All right, I'm getting off my wallpaper high horse. Jim, who's up next for the Money Pit?
All right, Leslie, heading over to Maryland, where we've got Dave on the line. He's dealing with some problems with the new roof. What's going on, Dave?
Yeah, we had a roof put on, and it's and I noticed as I'm looking at the second story for the lower part of the roof, I knew it had problems because it was leaking down there too. But the wood is all rotted out. The framework is, and they went and put new plywood on top of that rotten framework, and then put the new shingles on. And I told him, I said, no, don't do it. I said, that needs to be replaced. It needs to be totally redone. Oh, well, we don't do that for you. You have to get somebody else to do that.
So they expect you to take the new roof off now to replace that rotted wood that they covered already?
Exactly. I'm like, well, okay, so what's up with that? I didn't think that was possible to do that, but they just did it and they left. And I was like, wow. The whole roof, I mean, the rest of the roof, yeah, it looks great and everything, but I don't know if any of that wood up on the top of the roof was rotted or anything. I couldn't see it, but I saw on that bottom part it was really bad.
I mean, can you get into the attic and look at the underside of the roof sheathing?
Yeah. The upper roof, it seems to be okay because I actually tore out all the drywall and pulled out all the insulation so I could see that stuff. Looks to be okay.
All right, yeah. So the section below that had the rotted wood on it, they covered over. How big is that?
Probably about maybe 5 feet as far as from the house down to that part of the roof, connected to the house, you know what I mean? And width-wise, it goes almost all the way across.
And what was on there before that? Was it like 1x6 or 1x8, like solid sheathing? Was it plywood? When you saw that it was rotted, what were you looking at?
The actual frame, not the plywood that they put on top, but the actual frame itself was 2x4s.
Oh, the roof rafters.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So here's what should have happened, okay? Well, I get that these guys might say, we don't do the structural repairs, and that's fair, but they did make the decision to go ahead and just cover it all up. What they should have done is said, okay, we're going to do as much as we can do, which is the upper roof and these other areas of your house. But this area here needs a structural repair. So we either do that for you at an additional cost, which also would have been fair, right?
Right.
Yeah. Or they could say, we're going to stop the job right here, give you the chance to bring somebody else in. So they didn't do either of those things. I mean, they just blew through it, covered the old rotted wood with new wood. And so now you've kind of got a sandwich of rot up there. And, who knows what's going to happen with that?
That part of the roof is hanging down, and that's where it's leaking out all the time, down near the cellarway and everything. And it's a mess. And
it's sagging? I mean, does it look structurally unsound where they re-roofed it?
It's definitely structurally unsound, yeah. It's sagging.
Now they're chasing you? You didn't make a final payment or something? They're trying to chase you for money?
Yep, exactly.
Well, listen, I think you owe them part of the job. And what I would do is, I'd probably pay them because the rot's not their fault, right? They just didn't make it worse, but they certainly didn't fix it.
The rest of it now they're trying to get us for, and I'm like, it wasn't done right.
Maybe you pay them. You kind of have to determine this on your own, but maybe you pay them 75% of the project because they really kind of screwed up the last part.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Well, then tell them to come take the roof off and leave it like it was, and then you can get it structurally fixed. So I think you're going to have to go ahead and hop on that. Make sure you do it in writing. Tell them that it's not that you're not paying for it. You just have a dispute on the quality of the project. So they don't need to send you to collection and say that you're stiffing them for the job because you're not. You didn't do the job you were paid to do. But I do believe that when this was discovered at that moment, they did have a responsibility to tell you what your options were. And this is not unusual for the guys. They're in this business, right? They open up roofs all the time and tear off roofs.
I always replace stuff like that. When I see it, I replace it.
Yeah, right. But when you open the stuff up and you find this, most roofing contracts that I see, they actually say in it, if we find structural work that has to be done or plywood that has to be replaced, that it has to be done at an additional price or fee. They didn't even give you that option. So I think this is on them. I think your complaint is entirely justified, and I think you owe them part of the money for the roof, but for the rest of it, I wouldn't pay them. And I would make sure it's very clear to them why you're not paying them. And it's not that you're stiffing them. You're not looking for a discount. The fact of the matter is that they've created now a bigger problem for you that would have been much easier and much simpler to repair had it been done at that time.
That's right, yeah. Well, I thank you for your concern. I thank you for your call back also.
Yeah, you're very welcome, Dave, and best of luck with the situation. I hope it all works out for you. Well, if you've got an in-ground sprinkler system, summer is prime time to make sure that it's running at its best. A few quick maintenance steps can help you save water, lower your utility bill, and keep your lawn looking green, not soggy or scorched. So first things first, you want to check for leaks and broken sprinkler heads. Even a small crack in a line or a damaged head can waste gallons of water in no time. So turn the system on, watch each zone in action, look for the heads that aren't popping up fully, ones that are spraying unevenly, or creating puddles around the yard. Next, you want to make sure that your sprinkler heads are aimed properly. If the water is hitting the driveway, the sidewalk, or the side of the house, you're wasting water and you're possibly damaging surfaces. You want to adjust those heads so that they're watering the grass and the plants, not concrete. It's also smart to check the timing and duration of your watering schedule. During the summer, the best time to water is early in the morning, ideally before 9 a.m. That's going to minimize evaporation and ensure that more water is actually reaching the roots. As far as how much, your lawn typically needs about an inch of water per week, so adjust that system accordingly. Now, don't forget about adding a rain sensor. A lot of modern systems simply have one, but if yours doesn't, it's just time for an upgrade. A rain sensor is going to pause that sprinkler schedule when nature has already done the job. That's going to save you water and save you money. Nothing makes me more annoyed than seeing somebody's sprinkler system going during like a pouring down rainstorm. I'm like, that just seems irresponsible. While you're at it, guys, check for any clogged nozzles or filters. Debris can very easily block that water flow and cause weak spray patterns. A quick clean can restore that full function. And here's a bonus tip. If you've made any changes to your landscaping, like a new flower bed or a shrub, you want to make sure that that sprinkler layout will still make sense. You may need to tweak the system slightly to accommodate that new growth or additional hardscaping. Taking an hour or so midsummer to tune up that sprinkler system can help your yard stay lush and healthy and ensure that you're not pouring money down the drain every time it runs. All right, I love those tips. Jim, let's get back to the phones. Who's on the line next?
Now we got Frankie on the line, Leslie, with a countertop question. What's going on, Frankie?
I have in my kitchen a countertop that I think is linoleum. I'm not sure what it is, but it's gray in color, and I would love to either change it out or do something different. Somebody told me I could apply another round of paint, and that way it would look better than it does.
You know, Frankie, there's actually a number of ways that you could do this project. First of all, you mentioned that the countertop might be linoleum. I mean, I doubt that. It certainly would be a weird choice because linoleum is definitely an old flooring product. It could be laminate. That's more likely. And if it is laminate, which it probably is, it's like a Formica or Laminart or Wilson Art. Those are pretty much the brands of those laminate materials. If that's the case, you can use some products from a company called Daich Coatings, D-A-I-C-H. Their website is daichcoatings.com, and they have two different products that are designed as countertop finishing kits, and they are awesome. Now, one's called Spreadstone, and the other is called Lux Rock, and the Lux Rock product is great. There's a ton of different options in them, and it looks like there's a lot of stone in them, and the Spreadstone kind of looks more like a solid. So the Lux Rock is kind of more of like a travertine, like speckly, where the Spreadstone is more of like a solid marble or something like that. Two different looks, but both super durable and both a project that you can do yourself. It could take about 3 days or so, depending on which product you choose. But the steps really are you kind of clean the top, you get to work, everything you need is in the kit. So why don't you check out the Spreadstone Countertop Finishing Kit and the Lux Rock Solid Surface Granite Countertop Kit. Both are available at daichcoatings.com. Again, that's D-A-I-C-H coatings.com. It's a great way for you to restore your countertop without spending a whole lot of money.
And while you're at it, get a new cutting board so you don't have to use your countertop for that and be doing this project every year.
Yeah, and get a new cutting board, period. They get gross over time.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. And when it comes to checking off coverage, a State Farm agent can help you choose an option that's right for you. Whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you ready to dairy-free your mind? This summer, melt away your dairy-free expectations with So Delicious dairy-free frozen desserts. Enjoy mind-blowing flavors like salted caramel cluster, chocolate cookies and cream, cookie dough, and more. For over 35 years, So Delicious has been cranking up the flavor with show-stopping products that are 100% dairy-free, certified vegan by Vegan Action, and are so unbelievably creamy, your taste buds will do a double take. Dairy-free your mind. Visit SoDeliciousDairyFree.com.
Well, we've been talking a lot about how to create beautiful and functional outdoor spaces this summer, and one of the products really making waves is Ladera, the stackable stone system that makes projects like fire pits, raised beds, and seat walls faster and easier than ever. So joining us now is Christopher Clare, the National Sales Account Manager for Ladera, and Chris is here to walk us through how Ladera works, why it's different from traditional stone, and how it can help you create a stunning outdoor upgrade without cutting a single block. Chris, welcome to the Money Pit.
Glad to be here. Appreciate you having me on.
Let's kind of start with the basics. What makes Ladera different from traditional stone products that homeowners might sort of be used to using or afraid to use?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that it's the closest thing we found to making a natural stone. Whenever we're making these concrete walls, I think the goal is to make it look as natural as possible. Historically, you've seen a lot of what we call split-face walls, or walls that have the exposed aggregate, where when a wall is made and it's broken, you see the exposed aggregates or the exposed rock in there, and it's a very rough surface. This wall is designed to look like a natural flagstone, and it's got a very smooth surface, looks like an appearance of dry stack stone. But the trick with this wall is it's all, one unit, easy to put together. No caps needed for the top of the wall, no cuts needed. Any kind of rectilinear design you can build without making any type of cut at all. It's an easy product to use, and it's very durable.
Is it so unique looking because you have one size, but you have 7 different face patterns, and then it sort of hides the joints? So how does this sort of help people achieve like a really custom high-end look?
Historically, in walls, you've seen these false joints. They're very shallow, and it looks fake. These false joints are very deep, and it gives it the illusion of being a mortarless dry stack wall. So it's a unique design. You just don't see a lot of this in the marketplace, but it's a long trend with what's going on from a natural stone wall. It just follows those trend lines of what's popular in the marketplace right now.
But we are adhering them together, correct?
Yeah, yep. So when you're doing the fire pit, when you're doing some small seat walls, the friction lock that you get from this wall itself is enough to hold it in place. But we always recommend, whenever you can, to use some of our pavestone block and paver adhesive. It just comes in a little 10.5-ounce tube. You squirt a little bead of it in between the layers, and it just adds for a little extra stability.
And I mean, because this is sort of a precast concrete product and we're using the adhesive, what kind of conditions can this stand up to? Freeze thaw, storm, snow?
All of the above. All of the above. These walls are about 25 pounds a piece. These wall blocks are about 25 pounds a piece, so they're not going to blow anywhere. It's a durable concrete. The color that's in it is an integral color, a pigment color that goes through the entire block. So if you do have any breakage or cracking or any of that kind of stuff, it's not going to stick out like a sore thumb. And then, like I said, these walls, if you add a little bit of adhesive, it's really going to lock it into place. They're not going anywhere.
And truly, the fire pit takes 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes? This can't be true.
Absolutely. If you're building on top of a concrete surface, for instance, we've actually done this in less than 2 minutes.
This is amazing. You guys are so talented at this. Regular homeowner, 5 minutes.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Easily 5 minutes if you've got a good flat surface already.
Oh, I love it.
It's very convenient, very easy, and by putting a fire pit, like a Ladera fire pit like that together, it acts as a central focal point where you can gather around with your family, roast marshmallows, that sort of thing. Like, it's a really neat little kit.
All right. So what other type of projects do you find homeowners are using Ladera for? Are they getting super creative? Have you seen some afters in their outdoor spaces?
They are. Another unique feature about this block, too, is that it's finished not only on the face and the top of the wall block, but also on the sides. We've had homeowners for bed edging where you can stand the wall up upright. I've had people use it for columns. We've had people use it for seat walls, any type of raised garden beds, anything you want to do like a surround or raised bed.
User-friendly.
Yeah, very user-friendly.
This is fantastic, Chris. We're talking with Chris from Ladera and Pavestone about this wonderful dry stack stone that we can use to build a variety of projects. So if folks are ready to dive in, where should they go to learn more about it?
Absolutely. You can go to pavestone.com and take a look at product pages on there. We've got how-to videos videos, how to build fire pit kits, that sort of thing. We've got all the specs that you want to see on that wall. We've got some project estimators on there to help you figure out how much you would need to complete your project. And you can also find this for sale on HomeDepot.com as well.
That's awesome. Christopher Clare, the National Sales Account Manager from Pavestone and Ladera, thank you so much for joining us here on the Money Pit. We can't thank you enough. This is awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's not too late to get that summer garden going, you guys. Instead of just pots on the windowsill, you can create a vertical herb wall in your kitchen or on a sunny porch. You want to mount a few small wall planters, mason jars, or hanging pockets and fill them with basil, mint, rosemary, and thyme. It's living decor that looks great, smells fresh, and keeps your summer recipes stocked with homegrown flavor. I love that idea, and I love cooking, so this is a great way to do both at the same time. All right, Jim, let's get back to the phones.
All right, now we're talking about Mother Nature here with some solar power. We've got Rick from Illinois on the line. How can we help out, Rick?
Well, I was just wondering if you folks had a good, reputable company that can install solar panels on the ground. I don't want them on my roof.
Wow, we want like a mini solar farm in your yard? Do you have room for that?
Yes. And on the north side, there's no neighbor trees that are going to create shade. I have enough room there. My lot is, almost 240 feet long.
It's a good idea and concept here, Rick. I would definitely be wary sometimes with solar companies because there's a lot of kind of stretching of the truth sometimes when it comes to the real benefits or the savings here, because very often there's different ways that you can be paying for it. You can buy it outright, but a lot of people don't seem to do that. You can lease the solar panels, but then you're always going to have this payment that's due. You can lease them against what you're earning and still have the responsibility for the lease, the balance of it. And then that becomes an issue of who does the maintenance? How does the maintenance get covered? And even more of a concern is when it's on the roof. If you're going to put it on the roof, you want to make sure you're putting it on a new roof. And that's a lot of things here. And, it's a good time to think about, should I have solar panels or not? Do I need a roof or not? So for you wanting to do this on the ground, there could be some benefit of that. But I would be aware of what incentives are out there. Maybe some are offered by your state, your local and federal governments. We don't have specific answers for you on this, but I can tell you that, you want to make sure you do a ton of research on the incentives. You want to make sure you're doing a ton of research on the companies and then see what's going to work best for you. It's not something I would rush into. I would really think about it carefully, deliberately, because it's a big project, just the infrastructure to have this, the wiring, everything that has to go together. You want to make sure that it will cover the power for your home. Maybe eventually you'll resupply power to the grid. You'll earn some money on this, but I think it's a long road to kind of get there. So making sure that there are incentives up front and that it can and will work for you are good places to start.
And if you're purchasing a house that has a solar system, make sure your paperwork is reflected that those leases are paid off, that you're not responsible for buying a home with somebody else's old solar lease still in effect. You want to make sure you're clear on that because that could be a real surprise. So get it in writing.
All right. Good luck, Rick. Thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT. Well, if you've been planning a renovation like a kitchen remodel, outdoor projects, or even just buying a new appliance, you may have noticed things getting more expensive. A big factor are those tariffs on imported materials and goods. Let's break it down. You've got rising material prices. So across the board, lumber, steel, aluminum, drywall, appliances, those prices have climbed thanks to the tariffs. Now, the National Association of Home Builders estimates that these added costs are tacking on about $10,900 to the cost of a new home, and that's no small chunk for homeowners or builders. Now, what's being affected? It's not just big lumber and steel. Tariffs are hitting product lines like cabinetry, lighting fixtures, smart home devices, flooring, even countertops, sometimes up to 25% hikes on some items. You're also seeing delays and supply hassles. A major headache for DIYers and pros is volatile supply chains. Some materials are being stockpiled filed, others are being delayed. That means longer project timelines, fluctuating prices. Those are all built-in surprises right there in your budget. So what can you do? First of all, think about sourcing locally. Domestic suppliers may sidestep some of those tariffs. You want to lock in quotes early. If you're planning a summer project, get estimates with specified prices. You also want to consider alternatives. For example, refinishing your existing cabinets instead of replacing them. And by shopping smart, you can look for used or refurbished appliances and keep an eye out for rebates or domestic certifications. Timing matters, guys. So if you've been delaying, acting now could help if inventory is still available, and you can avoid buying later at higher post-tariff peak prices. But for big ticket items with long lead times, buying sooner rather than later could save you thousands. Just another thing to think about why stuff is more expensive. So let's help you get those projects done and on budget.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
Jim, who's up next?
Sherry in Tennessee is on the line with a question about her dryer, Leslie. What's going on with you, Sherry?
We have recently renovated our home, and we have noticed that with our dryer, they'll be dry, and sometimes I have just left them in there, and I have to refluff them to get the wrinkles out or something. But when I go back to them, if it's been overnight, they're pretty damp, and I didn't know if that was more of a dryer issue, or maybe it's the way we have it hooked up. It's in the laundry room, which is outside the kitchen, and is accessed through a vent just through the main, the wall into the outside.
All right, so let me ask you this. Say you're running a load in the dryer, and the buzzer goes off saying, I'm done. When you open it up, are the clothes still damp? Or are they dry? Do you think they're becoming damp when they sit overnight?
They become more damp overnight.
Well, if they become damp overnight, this sounds sort of like a condensation thing where you've got the dryer all warm and toasty from the clothes drying, and then cold air or exposed air conditioning or something is causing a condensation issue, which could make the clothes feel damp. Or it could be that you have high humidity in the area. Do you see condensation? Do you see any mold growth? Does the air feel humid or kind of thick, or is it only the dryer?
I've not really noticed it.
Is it a steam dryer? Do you have a water line that's hooked up to it? Is it a newer dryer with that steam setting?
No.
I mean, here's just some general advice about dehumidifying your basement, which could help. You want to make sure that outside, where the humidity sort of forms and makes its way into the house, you're dealing with those situations. So if you have gutters and they're clogged, you want to clean them out. You want to look at where the downspouts deposit the water. I mean, it really all starts when the soil around the house is super flat, and then you don't get any runoff, and the water kind of collects there and then gets, sucked into the home through the foundation, and that's where you get the humidity in the basement space. And you could try a portable dehumidifier for a while and see if that has an effect. But even if you have that running, stopping the moisture from forming at the outside is usually the best way to kind of get humid conditions inside the basement under control. I mean, there's a post on moneypit.com on the homepage about how to stop a basement from flooding that could help you with all of the moisture situations there. I mean, of course, the article that I'm recommending, you don't have a basement that's flooding, but it definitely helps you with the moisture situation, getting that under control at home. I would definitely take a look at all of that and see if just containing the moisture and humidity in the basement space helps the dryer situation. If it doesn't, give us a call back because I'm so curious what's causing this. Okay, Sherry?
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for giving us a call at 888-MONEY-PIT. Now it's time to see who's been emailing the team here for some advice. Jim, who's up first in our inbox?
Tony says that every year or two he takes the time to remove the bottom element on his water heater and suck out the calcium deposits. He says, the first challenge I have, though, is to rig up a piece of copper to my shop vac and tape it to the heater to accomplish this. Is there a better tool out there for this task? P.S. I love your show. Well, thanks.
All right. Well, Tony, I think you're probably working too hard. That internal drain valve should be more than sufficient for getting rid of those calcium deposits from your water heater. And the only thing you're going to gain by removing that calcium is a little bit more efficiency, because the calcium, if it's laying across the bottom of the tank, can actually act as an insulator between the flame and the water, but it really has no effect on corrosion. Now, the valve in the water heater has threads on it, so you can just thread on a garden hose and run it somewhere where the water can run out and open that valve and just let it drain, and that'll do it. You don't have to give yourself any fancy tools or figure out a way to do this. We've got the technology, and it's designed to do just that. Now, if you've never drained the water heater, guys, don't do it. It's either do it all the time or just ignore it. I mean, I've never done mine, and I'm at 23 years. Well, now I've got a new one, and maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't. Probably won't. But Tony, I think you're doing great here. I just think you don't have to do, overkill. It's going to work itself out. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a big plumbing repair if one of those valves gets stuck open. All right. Good luck with all of your home improvements.
There's no doubt that houses can eat up more of our hard-earned cash than most of us hope for, but one way to take the edge off all that spending is to choose home improvements that can recoup their cost when it comes time to sell. Leslie has some tips on which improvements will bring the most value in today's edition of Leslie's Last Word. Leslie?
Well, if you are thinking about investing in your home, you might be wondering which projects actually pay off when it's time to sell. So let's count down the top 5 improvements with the best return on investment according to the latest data. Now, number 5 is a new garage door. And you might not think much about it, but replacing your garage door can recoup up to 90% of its cost. It boosts curb appeal and function, and buyers love seeing a fresh, low-maintenance upgrade. Number 4 came in with energy efficient windows. New windows aren't just good for your utility bills. They are a big selling point. Replacing old drafty windows with energy efficient models delivers an ROI of about 68 to 72%. Plus, it makes your home more comfortable year round. Number 3 was a minor kitchen remodel. And notice I said minor. You don't need to gut the kitchen to get great returns. Simple upgrades like refaced cabinets, new countertops, updated appliances can net you a 75 to 80% return. Plus, the kitchen is still the heart of the home for buyers, so they're looking for a good-looking spot. Number 2 was stone veneer siding. Adding stone veneer to your home's exterior, like an accent wall or around an entryway, recoups about 90% of the cost. It's all about curb appeal and that wow factor when those buyers first pull up, so that's a big win. And along the same vein, number 1 was a new front door. Believe it or not, replacing your front door, especially with a steel or a fiberglass option, can give you a return of up to 100% or more. It's the first impression, it adds security, and it boosts energy efficiency. So if you're looking to invest in your home, start with these projects. They not only make your home look better, but they also put real money back in your pocket when it comes time to sell. All right, that's a wrap for this hour of the Money Pit. Covered a lot of ground today, from the backyard to the front door. If you missed any part of the show, you can catch the replay on our podcast or check out the highlights at moneypit.com. And of course, we'll be back next time with more home improvement tips, design inspiration, and expert advice to help make your home the best it can be. Before summer slips away, it's the perfect time for a home energy checkup. Coming up next week, we'll share quick tips to seal leaks, service your HVAC, and get your home fall ready while saving money on your cooling bills. Thanks for spending your time with us. We'll see you next time on The Money Pit. Remember, you can do it yourself, but you don't have to do it alone.
On the Money Pit Radio Show. On the Money Pit Radio Show. Pick up the telephone, fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT. Woo!
I'm Chris Hadfield, astronaut and citizen of planet Earth. Join me on a journey into the systems that power the world. No politics, just real conversations with real people shaping the future of energy.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.